This is going to be a video on how to install a Motion Pro Rev2 Throttle and the switch eliminator, Motion Pro switch eliminator on a 2008 Suzuki GSXR 750. Basically, you'll start by removing the stock throttle, and which also combines the switch. The reason why you need to use this switch is either you gotta cut down the stock one, or you can get this one instead. You're also gonna have to remove the tank and the airbox to do this, but I already did it. I'm not gonna take it off for this video, but I have another video where you can see that when it's off, but I'm not gonna do it for this video. Basically, when you're going to rewire the throttle, the switch cable is gonna go behind the brake line, front brake line, and then come through this. Come between the fork and the frame, and then it'll go through this bracket and then to the inside of the frame. The wirings, the running of the wires is important because you can run into binding if you don't run the cables correctly. And also, if you look in the manual, it states to put these in front of the brake line. And also, a thing to take note is to not try to leave this out, because it could cause you to have to redo work. Is adjust these to the middle so you can make, these are designed to make fine adjustments. Alright, then you're going to run the brake cable through this bracket, and then run it in between the frame and the fork through this bracket, through here, and then of course it'll connect to the throttle sensor in there that's inside the frame. Right? It's not that hard to figure out when you're in there. One thing that you might run into when installing the brake or the throttle cable is when you have the handlebars pushed to the side, the throttle won't, it'll stick. Basically, what the problem was is I had it adjusted too tight in the coarse adjustment down at the throttle sensor, and it was binding, so I had to take off all the tank and the airbox and everything. I had already put it all back on and figured out, like, I had the handlebar turned this way, and it was like, I twisted the throttle and the thing was like sticking. So keep that in mind. I want to say it's like 2 millimeters or whatever, but see how there's some play, and when you install the cable, it shouldn't bind at all. This video is going to help you a lot if you have to go back and you think you're going to remember like how everything was laid out, and then you're like, oh, was this thing up here or was it down here? Like, you actually forget these things. Was it actually through this? Was it actually through this thing? This clamp, or was it not? Like, did I put it through this hole? Those are the things you forget. Like, you think you're gonna remember it when you're doing it, and then you end up not remembering it. So I created this this diagram so you can see how to wire the switch. This switch right here. Basically, this is the how it would be wired if it was a stock wiring. And then basically you're gonna like take out all the wires, and then you'll take the Motion Pro cable wires and just plug them in like this, like yellow, was this blue, black, and white. I basically like soldered those together into one wire, and then black. And then another thing that you're gonna probably run into when you're trying to, after you remove these wires, and then you want to put these wires in, and they don't come with connectors. What I did was I cut off the stock connectors and just soldered them onto the Motion Pro, and then inserted them. Trying to find that stuff online ain't easy. So if you can do it, or you already have them, I would do that. But if not, you can always do what I did. Now I'll just go ahead and show you that it works. So, and then I'll start it up. That's it. Thanks for watching.